in the middle of his head that has critique something.
Oh gosh. Oh, it do. Hold up. Let me move that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all
So
right.
we
You know
are
what, guys?
live now, guys.
Yeah.
We are live.
Just move over. Move over
No, I
this
can
way.
I can move
There you
that.
go.
We're gonna hide
Oh,
that
you
for
didn't move mine.
today since we
Oh,
have.
hey,
Okay.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Okay.
All right. So I want to thank you guys for coming and joining me today on the Glam Show. On the Glam Show, we talk fashion, well, passion, fashion, and purpose. And even though we're called the Glam Show, we like to talk in about politics and what's going on in the community. And we touch bases a little bit on glam and what you guys all think, or what is your own interest when it comes to fashion and glam, and how it all comes together with what you guys do, and as well as what you guys do in the community. So I want to. We're gonna have another special guest that's gonna come in as well. Ernest, who runs Charm City Direct TV, so he will be coming in as well, and you guys can meet him, and he'll be asking some questions too. Give me 1 second. So I want you guys to just and I'm gonna get Dr. Humphrey, aka Doc, to just introduce yourself. He is the founder of the Baltimore Trauma Response Team. If you can give us a little bit of insight on what the Baltimore Trauma Response Team does and how you actually founded the company.
Sure. Um, my name is Reverend Dr. Andre Humphrey, and this organization was started uh, after the murder of my son. The White House was under George Herbert Bush, and after that tragedy, uh, I made a conscious decision that his death wouldn't be in vain because I realized the pain that I went through, and didn't ever think that I could get over his death. So I said I would make a commitment that I would help the people as I could. So when they experience a tragedy like that and trauma, um, they would always have somebody to be there for them.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times, especially what's going on now, people they're not concerned about how much you know, but they're concerned about how much you care. And so I realized the ministry of your presence. And when people break down, they can get a total meltdown. Somebody there to help pick them up. That make a big difference because people never forget that. And I've been doing this for over 30 years,
Okay.
and that I started with Baltimore Trauma Response Team.
Okay. And I want to get Miss Selena Joyner, the executive director of operations, to come in and just tell the people who you are, what you do with the Baltimore Trauma Response Team, and give us a little bit of insight also on
But
how. I'm sorry.
this is Sharon
Yes.
administration.
Say it again.
I say administration.
Administration. Okay. Apologize. So it's executive director of administration, right? Did I say it right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
All right. So Miss Selena Joyner, can you tell the people who you are, what you do, and how they can get in contact with the Baltimore Trauma Response Team?
Oh, my name. Well, I'm Selena Joyner, executive director. I of the Baltimore Trauma Response Team. I enjoy um, the work that we do. I think it's a very important work that we do. We go out to various crime scenes and we provide support to the victims' families, also resources. We're an outreach, boots on the ground organization, which also lends hands to people who are homeless by providing clothes, food, um, all kinds of resources to children who we go into the schools and the storytelling there. Sometimes we need to interact with the principals or the teachers and the director of mental health services to make sure that those children who do have those issues are getting the help and support that they need. We travel out to people's homes, and when we go out to the homes, we listen to those people who are affected by trauma, and in those circumstances, sometimes they're real and hardcore stories that a lot of us sometimes don't have those, have never experienced that, don't understand, and sometimes people just need somebody that they can listen to, that listens to them and hears them.
Right. Okay. So and how can um
we be
some
you People could reach us
yes.
through calling out 1-833-60 trauma number.
Okay.
We also could be reached through our website, which is www.baltimoretrauma.com. At this time, with these crises that's going on with the COVID virus, trauma has, affected even the people who were never affected before, because everyone's going through different crises. And so we need, there's so many people that need help. Just this week alone, I've talked to two people that, uh, suicide attempts. So one is in the hospital, another one went to the hospital. So it's real serious, and the problem that we have is not having enough funding so that we can help more people. And so the more funding we can get, we need donations, we need sponsorship. You can always go to our website and just click on those links, and we appreciate it, everything that is donated or those who sponsor. And 100% of any money that comes in will go towards those people who are affected by trauma.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Michael Joyner, he is the deputy chief. Give the people a
Yeah,
little bit of insight of who you are and your role with the Baltimore Trauma Response Team.
I'm a deputy chief, and I basically handle a lot of technical uh, situations. I try to get information and gather the information from various resources and apply that information to the need of anyone who may have specific problems or the exact trauma that they are going through.
Okay. All right. We just have Mr. Ernest here, E Digger from Charm City Direct TV. He has just joined us as well. So I want to introduce him as one of the as the co-host for today. And we were getting to know our guest here, the Baltimore Trauma Response Team. So we just talked recently with the founder. We have Reverend Humphrey, Reverend Humphrey. We have Miss Executive Director of Administration, Miss Selena Joyner, and we have Deputy Chief Mr. Michael Joyner, and we're going to now go into the
Hi.
Executive Assistant, Miss Joconda.
Hello, how everyone doing? How you doing, Ernest?
How you doing? How y'all doing? Sorry I'm late. I was a little can everybody hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was a little under the weather, so I apologize. I'm just trying to get myself back together.
Just take your time.
I'm so glad to see all of you. And what you're doing is wonderful and so needed right now. I do need to add that. So thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Okay, so we're gonna get into Miss Jaconda, Jaconda Harris, and let me ask you this: did I spell your name right?
You that's all right. It's a O, it's
It's
fine.
a O. Okay,
That's
I'm
all
going
right. It's
I'm going to
J A
fix
C
that
O
right now.
N.
I'm gonna fix that right now. I wanted to make sure I spelled it right. But
It's okay.
yes, go ahead and just let us know what your role is with the Baltimore Trauma Response Team, and actually um how you became interested and got into the company.
Sure. Again, I am assistant executive director of the Baltimore Trauma Response Team. And actually, me myself, I've had issues with in the past with hereditary and historical trauma. So with me having experienced the trauma firsthand myself through whether it was me or family members or people I grew up with, I decided to use what I had and the energy and challenge it and actually help and see how many people that I can help. So that's how I got involved in it. Actually, Reverend Dr. Humphrey was telling me, I never really knew what he really did. I was like, trauma, I'm thinking first responder. And when he told me what he was doing, and I started sharing some of the stories and, letting him know what I've been through and what I came through, he like, well, you don't look like it. I'm like, well, that's the beauty of it. God brought me through it. And he was just saying to me, he said, that's what happened to him. He said, this is God's vision that I'm carrying out. And I'm excited, and I'm glad that everyone accepts me and brought me aboard.
Okay.
That's
Well,
wonderful.
Ernest, did you have any questions for the Baltimore Trauma Response Team?
Actually, I did. I did have a question for Dr. Humphrey. How you doing, sir? Is he there?
Not,
Can you, Reverend
Yeah,
Humphrey?
yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you for
my question to you, sir,
with the
with all that's going on today with this COVID-19 or coronavirus, as we call it now, what is your thoughts? How has this pandemic affected you personally?
if you can hear me, this pandemic has affected the whole world because I believe coming from the top, they already knew that it would spread and they weren't prepared to deal with it. So, because there's not a vaccine on hand, I know they're working on one. Everybody, I can't speak for other parts of the country, but I know in Baltimore is paranoid, and a lot of people have lost hope because people have lost their jobs, and people can't get the necessities that they need and feed themselves, and forced to stay in the house. So you know what happens when you keep an animal caged up for so long. When they get out, this is why you still see crowds and crowds of people that's not following the laws
Yes.
because they want people to be transparent with them and they want hope. And that's where we come in at because we still making sure the city is prepared and getting to as many people as we can. So until they get a vaccine for this and don't be cautious, you might see a reoccurrence with this.
That's what's up. And my next question goes to Mr. and Mrs. Joyner. How y'all doing today?
hi, how are
Okay, how
you?
you doing?
So, as a couple, in this pandemic, the impact on you as a couple, how has this impacted you in your lives as a couple?
Well, it impacts us in quite a few ways. One, we're concerned about the kids, because they're not here. They're all spread out, different places. So that's always a concern. Um, as far as we're in the house, we're very fortunate. We do have food. We're good on that.
Okay.
But it's hard because we're not used to being in the house all the time, and we're both over 60 years old. Um, and so we both have pre-existing issues. So it's always that fear of going out and,
Exactly.
worrying, okay, well, look, are we safe? We went to Walmart, and after like 5 minutes, I'm like, we got to get out of here. It was just too many people. and you just don't know, so you get that little bit of sense. You don't want to be fearful of everything that you do. However, you have to take all of these things in consideration, that this is an invisible killer, and we don't know who has it, even our grandchildren, we have to be wary, of all of that. And nobody wants to get sick, nobody wants to die. I had a meeting, 2 weeks ago, two
Yes.
weeks ago at the Arena Players, and I at the last minute I opt not to go. I didn't feel comfortable with meeting, to determine how we move forward. And it turned out everybody had on their masks, was 6 feet apart, and as a result of that meeting, one person ended up in the hospital 2 days later with the COVID virus on a ventilator.
Wow.
So even though everybody had a mask, they took the mask off to speak. And as a result, everybody was exposed.
Wow.
I opt to do the meeting on the computer like we're doing now. So
Yes.
it's hard. It's hard. We're bored. We watch movies, our schedules are off. What else?
Also, we also try to stay on a consistent schedule, because a lot of times, when you're in, your schedule gets
Thrown
vastly
off.
thrown off.
Yes.
So we try to get up the same time. We try to exercise. We try to check on our neighbors. We have a couple of elderly neighbors not too far from us, or near us, and we
Hmm.
check on them to make sure that they are all right. And as Selena said, we most time we just try to stay in the house, and watch a movie, or get into a little art. I'm a writer also. I do a little singing. I'm in a singing group,
So
so
he's been singing. Oh man, he's been singing.
That's what's up. Anything helps right about now.
Right.
so
I'm like, okay, go ahead.
yeah, so singing has taken a temporary lead, as far as traveling and whatnot. So it's been hard on everyone. It's just what I'm really concerned about too are the kids who a lot of people don't have. A lot of the kids don't have the computer systems that they need to further their
To do the
education,
to the work,
and
right?
Yes.
and
Yes.
and a lot of kids are having problems, doing the schoolwork, and they don't have that ready application, or direct application with the teacher, because they don't have the equipment necessary to further the education or to ask questions.
Yes.
A lot of times, I talked to a young lady last week, and she didn't have a computer, and she was saying that she had fallen behind. She had some questions to ask, some her teacher, and she really couldn't get in touch with her for over a week. So that's the problem also. So it's just the whole world is going to be in a new norm as we
Numenor. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What I don't like is the weight gain. From being in the house, you kind of tend to go to the kitchen every 5 minutes for a snack.
Yes.
Snacking on this and things I would normally not eat. Like I don't drink sodas. Now I'm drinking sodas. So because I think it's not having a whole. We started doing stuff that we would have normally not been doing. So I'm trying to do things like I'm organizing the drawers. I'm organizing my files. We started, looking at redoing the backyard, and just stuff, that we wouldn't normally be doing if we were able to get out of the house.
Also, another major concern is that the governor hasn't really opened up. I know it's 3 stages, and most of the counties here in Maryland have opened up uh, entirely in the first stage, except for I think Howard County, Baltimore County, Baltimore City, and I think it's Anne Arundel County. And to me, just having common sense is the main thing. When the times that I do go out, you still have a lot of people who are in clusters and don't have a mask, don't have gloves, as if they saying, "Well, hey, I'm Superman, Superwoman,"
Yes.
and just that little time can spread something to someone else. So
Mhm.
I think just using a little common sense also is very important in this situation.
That's what's up. My next question, if I can, goes to all of you, and whatever order that you want to do it in. Since, if I'm saying this correctly, since you can't physically go to families in need or people in need during this pandemic, what are some messages of hope? What are some forms of inspiration are you providing to these people to help them cope through this pandemic? Because a lot of people have issues with anxiety. A lot of people don't really cope well with the word pandemic or crisis. So when people hear those words, they kind of cringe or get a little uneasy. So if you can just go around and share what type of messages or what kind of forms of inspiration or what kind of calming words are you giving these people during this time?
We can start with Dr. Humphrey.
Well, the message is hope right now is that, those that are believers, we have to focus on God. We can't say that everybody is a believer, but God is our only hope.
Yes.
He's our
Yes,
strength
sir.
now. So we have to look towards the hills from which cometh our help. And the way I see it from a spiritual perspective, if I could, put it out there, the message of hope is that this is nothing more than God's word being prophesied, going back into the Bible when the plagues were put on the people. And this is just God's way of getting everybody's attention because everything that people like doing, He shut it down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everything. There's
Mm-hmm.
no exceptions. So, you know, Second Chronicles 7:14 is true. If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves and seek from their evil ways, then they will heal the land. Heal the land. So when this is over, I know a lot of churches is following the chapter 11. When this is over, I mean, they can't pay Moses, they can't do a lot of things. So churches don't, when they go to services, uh,
Mm.
go to church. It won't be the same again. Nothing will be the same.
True. Miss Harris.
Yes. First, I like to say that it's two parts. It's a recession and then it's a depression,
Yes.
and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't know a recession is the short term, and a depression is the long haul when it's a few years. So um, a lot of times what the trauma response been doing because there's a mentoring program inside of the trauma response as well.
Okay.
Reverend Dr. Humphreys had for several years, and I got to tell you, we've been doing a lot of phone calls. Reaching out to
Mm-hmm.
these kids, seeing what work they needed, whether it was the work that we helped the principals give, or if it was just the fact of us calling to check on them, see if they had food, where their mental state of mind was,
Yes.
their parents,
Mm-hmm.
their families. So when like I tell people throughout this pandemic, I thank God that we were still able to be mobile. We were
Yes.
still able to be boots on the ground.
Right.
We did do lunch boxes. We did a lot of food drives. We helped with the food banks. So we haven't
Mm-hmm.
been closed in or silent. We've been moving, but we've been spiritually moving. We haven't
Okay.
really talked about it, but it's been brought up. But I just want to say that talking, speaking out, being able to talk to people, and letting them know that you're here for them. Even if it's just listening or just that one phone call, just checking on you and your children, your loved
Mm-hmm.
ones. Is anyone affected by the COVID-19? Is there any food
Exactly.
needed? Is there any Medicare supplies? Anything that trauma response can do? And not saying that we have all this in the background, but we have resources. So we just the phone calls that we were sending out, people were like, oh, thank you, because some people just felt like maybe, school closed, nobody cared. Well, people care, and the trauma response team is one of them.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what's up.
I actually want to wanted to thank you, Jaconda, for actually stating that. That was something that I was going to get to next, actually, because I do know that you guys have been boots on the ground and having giving out resources, food and food boxes. I remember me and Doc was talking about the giveaways that y'all had did, and I commend you guys on that because that's what we need.
For sure.
That is also what shows hope and give the people, like we said, we are fortunate to be able to have a roof over our head and food in our refrigerator and stuff like that, but it's some people out here who are actually really going through it. They don't
That's
know where
right.
they're going to get their food from day to day. I work for a
Mm-hmm.
company, and as well as working with the Baltimore Trauma Response Team, and we get the kids that call, and they don't know where they're going to get their food from. They call me, they say they need food. They don't know how to do their homework and stuff like that. It's tough. This is a really tough situation, and
Yes.
it's programs like yours that people that is going to help people, and that really is going to affect those that really do need the help. So I do appreciate you actually speaking on that.
For sure.
So
And
Miss yeah, I was
for
Miss Selena.
for for us, we have, due to the website, we have links on the website that people can go on the website, put their information in, and it contacts us. And as a result, there have been a few calls that people who need help. We had one guy who called in and needed help with, because he's an elderly man who had several strokes and not able to get downstairs. So he's eating food out of cans that were
Wow.
expired so long,
Oh my gosh.
and to hear that, it's like, oh my God, and so, and he literally cried, you know, didn't know what to do. We went out and got him some food and brought it up, and he was so overwhelmed. He cried for real, like crying, and we were like, I felt bad because he was so overwhelmed by the food, and so much food. And we were like, well, don't cry. I didn't want him to be that upset, but he was that happy and but upset at the same time because he didn't know what to do with all that food. And so, it's those moments that you see, when you've said, you just gave somebody a second of hope, a second of helping them where they thought things were hopeless, makes the biggest difference in the world to someone's life. We have a couple that came and spoke with us the other day, for several hours because their son tried to commit suicide, and actually he did die. But because he had a friend there that knew CPR, brought him back to life.
Wow.
And
Man.
as a
Wow.
result of that, he's in the hospital. And we spent, that time just talking. And we ended up, although they came, very down and depressed, they left laughing, and happy because we just joked and had a good time. We were able to discuss that issue and look at positive things moving forward. However, they walked away with knowledge that we were able to give them, and just encouragement of, not only God's word, but encouragement in life, that everything is going to be all right. He's
That's
still
what's up.
here. Yeah.
Also, the key, I think the key is just to show someone a little that you care. That there's someone there to say, hey, I got your back. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how strong you are, how powerful you are. One day you're gonna need some help. Everyone needs help
Yeah.
at one time or another.
Please
And
say
just
that
to show
again.
someone, right, and just to show someone that you care. We have also a radio show, WOLB,
Yes.
and it's called Changing the Narrative: Voices
Yes.
of Encouragement. And
Yes.
I always say what I close with, uh, Baltimore, put a little love in your heart and a little heart in your love. And that's the main
Yeah.
thing that you have to show people. You have to fellowship with people and just let them know that, hey, if you need a little helping hand, if I can do it, hey, I'm willing to do that because
Yes.
I need help sometime myself.
Right.
And just to give, just to show that each other that you care and like I said, love, and that's the key. That's the key.
That's what's
And
up.
I think it's the not knowing, for all of us, it's the not knowing. It's the not knowing what tomorrow or, next month is going to be. How long we're going to be like this? Is this the rest of our lives? That it's that not knowing
The
that causes
uncertainty.
these anxieties and, frustrations and, depressions in some people. And, I try to look at ways on how we can find something positive to do in terms of, I like to sing, or I like to listen to music and write the words to it, but now you can go on the computer and get the lyrics, so I can get sing some of my favorite songs. Find those things that are positive that you enjoy doing, whether it's riding, whether it's dancing, exercising, whatever that is, watching old movies, to take your mind off the TV screen and looking at all of that stuff about COVID, all day long. In the beginning, I couldn't stay away from it. It was like, what are they saying now? I had to find out, but I found that, it was just making me down. So I
Yeah.
needed to keep away from that and start moving into something more positive and
Yeah.
finding ways to do things that make me feel good.
It's funny that you say that because that it happened to me. I just got tired of seeing COVID, or
Right.
Corona,
Right.
and you know, I had to channel that energy. I had to channel the inspiration, the positivity, and it allowed me the time, allowed me to do so much in my network, and that was so needed because of my 9 to 5, and it really didn't bother me none to take that time to concentrate in making my network better, and that's what I did. Every time when the news came on, it was COVID this, Corona this, and I changed the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you keep watching it and keep feeding into it,
It'll control you.
it controls you, and
It
that's what a
starts to
lot.
wear on you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
social media as well. If when this whole thing broke out, a lot of people was relying on news and social media, and of course, when something is going on, some people, I'm not going to say all, but some people just don't make it better. They just add fuel to the fire
Mm-hmm.
and see how people react, and that's what I meant
And
earlier
that's true. And
on.
a lot of those people, quote unquote, are supposed to be our leaders.
Yeah,
A lot of times they speak with forked tongue.
Don't
they
forget.
they ignoring the fear.
Right.
They ignoring the fear, as I would call it, and
No politician.
All
yeah.
right.
He
So
said
Yep.
no politics.
I
so
got
I
you.
s- so
Change your
so I had
mind.
to
Hello.
I had to steer clear that. I had to like somehow get away from that because it was getting to me. Like people would share posts and people would share pictures, and I would say no, that's not going on, or no, that's old. You see what I'm saying? But I just want to encourage everybody that's watching right now. There are two. There's a number at the bottom of the screen, and as there's a website. So people who are a little uneasy, who feel as though they can't cope, that is the number to the Baltimore Trauma Response Team, and that is the website. So go there, use those two entities to try to get help for whatever you're going through.
Right. I also want to say, talking about like you was talking about the media controlling, that's what they do. The media, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to be careful. Always, and my saying is to be careful of the content that you take in, because that will take over your own emotions and your thoughts. So
Right.
I don't even have a TV in my room. Like, I control the content that I take in, and we all can do that by the people that we follow on social media, and stuff like that. Like I look more so to resources like our networks, the different media outlets that we have via internet, and not just the news, because the news, we all know they have a purpose, and they have a goal that they want to, that they have to achieve. So you just got to be able to control your own content. So
Exactly.
I do want to get into some of the things that the Baltimore Trauma Response Team have coming up, and how people can actually help you guys, because you guys are actually a personal private organization who fund your own organization. Am I right?
That's
True.
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are ways for people that would like to donate and either sponsor and help out. Like we said earlier, you guys have a show, the Changing the Narrative show. That's the way you guys can provide advertisement, marketing, for people. They're on a radio station. So that's another way that you can help the Baltimore Trauma Response Team as well. Donate, sponsor, pay for advertisement, because those funds also can help a family.
Right.
Baltimore Trauma Response Team is a resource that help the community. So take advantage of that. I want to bring up, we have T-shirts. You guys can purchase a
Nice.
T-shirt right off of the website.
$20.
It's $20 T-shirts. You can't beat that, and that's all, to help a family. You go right onto the website. And just, I would just say, just go to the website, look it up, see how you can help them. And my saying is, help me help you.
Also,
Help me help you.
to add on to that, Saran, that phone number that when you call it, it's 24/7. It's never down. Someone will always answer that line. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's early in the morning, afternoon, late at night, if you have a need, call that number.
Okay. All right. So is it anything anyone else would like to say? E Digger, you have any more questions?
Well, not
Yes,
a question.
I just want to say this to you, Brother Ernest, and yourself. I look at 545 and how they put it out there. Who's going to save our city? Who's going to save our city?
Yes.
And they put it out there enough
Mm-hmm.
that people feel like there's no hope. But it's people like yourself, Brother Ernest, and Sister Jacana, uh, Brother Sister Jonah. I was always taught as a young man, if you see a spiritual fight, you're supposed to get in. And we have to stop complaining. As the old folks say, we can't complain with half a loaf of bread under our arm. We just gotta grab the bull by the hand and I mean by the head and do what we need to do.
Right.
Because I know it's a different time, but I never knew what it was to eat from a food market until I was about 6 years old. Everything they came off the food stand at Bel Air Market.
Hmm.
So I know how to survive. We know how to survive, and we have the tools uh, to make people's lives better. From the bottom of my heart, I'm truly humble and grateful for you, Mr. Ernest, and the wizard behind the scenes, Sister Vaughn. And she didn't pay me to say that. I say that from the bottom.
That's it.
I just wanted to say, I appreciate you guys for what you're doing for the city of Baltimore and beyond. It's so with everything that's going on, and not just this coronavirus, with so much other things that's going on in our city. I just want to say thank you guys for what you're doing and continuing to do for the city of Baltimore. So I commend you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank y'all for
Thank you
having us.
guys.
Oh, thank
Thank you,
you. Thank you for
Sharon
coming
and
on.
Brother Ernest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you
Thank
get
you.
better.
I
Yes.
Yep.
yeah, thank you.
Look,
Yeah.
I was determined to get him in here. I said, listen,
Yeah.
That's it.
if he out the hospital, we
He
gonna
Oh my
coming.
God.
let me say this, Ernest. You see, I'm getting creative. I done created the pop ups and everything, right?
Yeah,
I was like, we gonna make sure we let the people know who we talking to.
there you go.
That's
So,
it.
Hmm.
like I said, we have all the tools that we have right here at the grasp of our hand with the internet, man. It makes you global, and we can reach so many more. The TV, you are limited. The radio, you are limited to who you can reach.
Yeah,
And as you can see, look, we got the setup right here where we
That's
can,
it.
we do our own little
We're
commercial.
reaching.
I'm gonna get the commercials. I'm gonna get the commercials down packed. We're gonna be having them on
and
here too.
and you can do it from the comforts of your own home. That's the
Yep.
thing.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
The beauty about the internet, the beauty about creativity is limitless. Once you put your mind to it. So back then, people were so afraid of doing things like these or this, but now it's the new norm.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
And people are comfortable. You don't have to leave your house. You can talk to people across the world that you never knew you could talk to. So yeah, the power is within us to bring to the masses. So yeah, this is great. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
It
Well,
really
I
is.
want to thank you guys for we thought we was gonna have to cancel. I say nope, we not gonna cancel today. And we still got E Digger here and Baltimore Trauma Response Team. My goal was to just make sure that people know who you guys are. You guys are doing an amazing job. And like we say, Selena's phrase is always boots on the ground. Okay. And you guys are definitely doing that. You're making an impact in people's lives and in the community, and like Reverend Doc said, Reverend Humphrey said, we have to, it's up to us at this point. It's definitely
Mm-hmm.
up to us to do what we have to do as a group and as a whole, because it's multiple, it's many organizations just like yours that we all have a different purpose, in the community, but we have to come together. Like I said, I work for another company, along with volunteering with the Baltimore Trauma Response Team, and my reasoning for getting into it was just the positivity that you guys bring, forth to the community, and how you are impacting the lives of others. So, I want to be a part of anybody that's making an impact.
I
Because I
know
love
that's
Baltimore.
right.
People always tell me, well, why you stay here? I love Baltimore.
I get
Baltimore.
that question all the time.
Right. I mean,
Why are
you're
you not out there?
interacting
Get
and
out of
everything
there.
too, Selena. So, people be like, well, why are you here? We could travel and do the same stuff that we're doing every day. You can
That's it.
travel. And guess what? But I'm going to stay right here because our community, just like you go to Atlanta and you go to, you got Miami, North Carolina, and outside, they have their people who is putting money into their community and helping. We got to do the same
Mm-hmm.
thing for
Yep.
our
Right.
own.
Yep.
We can't always go out here and as soon as you make it, you run into the next state or run into the next country just to
Yep.
get away. Why not stay right here and help build? Because
Mm-hmm.
like Reverend Humphrey said, you complain and you say what you don't have and what you need and what nobody's doing, but you got resources right here that you're not even utilizing. You
You
know?
know what? Like Dorothy said in The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home.
No place like home. That's right. So I
The
mean,
Wizard of Oz. Uh-oh.
Bang zoom.
right.
Who said that?
So
A honeymoon is bang zoom. Honey.
mhm. So I just want to commend you guys for a great work that you guys are doing, and just like I said, anyone who would like to help out and assist and be a part of this greatness, you guys can go right to their website, and you know you can look on there, see how you can sponsor, how you can donate, and you pay $20 for a T-shirt, You know, that's a
right.
donation. That's helping another life.
That's
That's
right.
helping the
Mm-hmm.
community. You
Yeah.
know, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? You know, we go out here, we spend, they lining up even in the pandemic for some Jordans. You
Yeah.
know, you
Yeah,
better get on
yeah,
that
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
website and
If
line
you
up for a
We'll
t-shirt.
take even no amount is too small.
yeah,
Right.
but
You
So
know?
if you could pay close to $200 for a pair of Jordans, $20 is not going to hurt you.
Right.
No, it's not.
Real
And you
talk.
get
$50
something
to get
from,
your nails done.
Yeah,
right. Right, exactly. So I know I'll be coming to get my shirt. I'll be putting my order in tonight on the site. You can go on the site and you can
Right there.
purchase the t-shirts too. Right? You can purchase the shirt online too, right? Are you able to do that now?
I'm working on that today.
Okay.
Seeing
But
how
anyone who
that can
would
go.
like
But all
to
they got to do is fill out the thing and put in the comment, like to
okay.
get a T-shirt, and I'll get back to them.
Okay. All right. So just make sure you just can get in contact with Miss Selena. With you know, if you want to purchase a T-shirt, or even if you want to just get into the how you can help, how you can be a part of the organization. All of the information is right there. If you know someone that is having a trying time, sometimes people are shy. They don't want everyone knowing their business. It's a 1-800 number right there. 1-833-60-trauma is right there, guys. Utilize it, you know, and that's the best way to go. You know, it's personal. You get some help, and you don't have to suffer. No one out here should have to suffer. We have
yes,
so many resources out here in our community that's willing to help out. Use it. Use it. So
Again, that's a 24/7 number,
24
anytime,
hours.
day or
Yep.
night.
Thank you guys. Thank you, E
Thank
Digger, for
you. Thanks
joining
for
Thank
having
us.
me.
you.
Baltimore
thank you.
Trauma
Thank
Response
Thank you
you.
so
Team.
much.
I look
Appreciate
forward
it.
in seeing what you guys have coming forth. And E Digger, we're gonna make sure we get them rescheduled for your next interview,
Definitely,
right?
definitely, definitely. Real soon. Real soon.
Okay. All right,
Thank you.
guys. Thank you for
Thanks
Take
again.
care.
coming. Have a
All
good
Bye.
right.
See
night.
you guys
You
later.
too.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining in. Like I said, that was the Baltimore Trauma Response Team, along with myself, MzCritique, and E Digger from Charm City Direct TV. If you would like to reach out to the Baltimore Trauma Response Team, make sure you contact them at 833-60-TRAUMA, or go right directly to their website, baltimoretrauma.com. See you guys soon, and enjoy the rest of your night.